All right, let's talk money and business with Winnie Sun, Managing Director of Sun Group Wealth Partners. And a big event this week. It was the Apple reveal of kind of their spring products here. And we saw a couple different items, but also Apple Card. This popped up on your radar, Winnie. Tell me what's interesting about Apple Card.
Well, Apple Card's really interesting because when we're hearing from Apple, we're thinking new technology, and we certainly saw in that realm, iPads and whatnot. But they also announced a big initiative in their sort of finance direction, which is the Apple Card family, which is what they're saying is an innovative way or for families to be able to have a credit card to track purchases, manage spending, but also help our sort of next generation build credit. So this is going to enable many people to include a co-owner so that both you and your co-owner continue to build credit on this credit card, but you're also able to add up to 5 family members who are age 13 and up. And together you can have this like joint credit card and you can earn cash back. And obviously you earn a little bit more cash back if you buy, there are certain Apple items. But they're saying, you know what, we've seen in the past that some people just don't benefit from getting credit or positive notices on their credit score by having a co-owner on this card, but we're going to make that different. And so this card is really unique, Mike. I mean, there's no number, there's no CVC. It's basically like a digital card.
Yeah, and Apple stock right now trading about 133 a share midweek here. Last week's job report unemployment numbers came in kind of better than expected, I guess people would say. Positive earning reports for a lot of companies out there, but some would argue that the market is just kind of weak across the board. Now, others could say, hey, we've seen record highs. We've been saying that a lot on our newscasts, but why is there a kind of a difference when you got the positive earnings reports, but then the market is kind of fluctuating like it is?
Well, I think there's a lot of concern coming from offshore. Of course, we're doing very well here in the United States. Job reports are getting much better. However, that being said, what's coming out of the World Health Organization in terms of added COVID cases throughout other countries, that's putting a lot of pressure. So you're seeing across the board, you're seeing not only weakness in a lot of our familiar tech names, but also don't forget travel is being hit hard. Once again, airlines, cruise lines, people don't feel like they can completely get back to normal because we are part of a greater economy, and that's the global economy. So you're going to see that continue to trickle down until we see caseloads offshore do better as well.
Hey, Senator Mitt Romney in the news recently, talking about Social Security. So for our viewers right now who depend on Social Security or are about to depend on Social Security, what's going on here?
It's a big deal here because Mitt Romney has come up with a bipartisan initiative that he's trying to go ahead and push through, because there's 3 areas of Social Security that are really dearly underfunded. That includes a highway trust fund, which is actually just 1 year from being exhausted. There's Medicare's hospital insurance trust fund, 5 years left before depleting those extra funds, and the Social Security Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund and the Disability Insurance Trust Fund is about, the surplus is only for about 11 years. So they're saying, if something doesn't change, if we don't find a way to continue to fund these pools of money that is needed for so many people for Social Security, we're going to have a big issue. So for those of you who are already receiving Social Security or about to receive Social Security, I think short term, you're going to probably not have much to worry about. But it's really the future generations that are going to have concerns here because there's not enough money going into the pool right now.
Winnie, we've been talking about in the news how many major airlines are reopening those middle seats, starting to sell them again because there's been an uptick in travel, more people getting vaccinated. And as this happens down the road into the summer season and beyond, I'm interested in the car rental industry. I can imagine this industry was just hit hard over the past 13 months. Where does it stand right now? And where do we see it going here in the future as travel indeed starts to pick up?
Well, travel has definitely started to pick up a lot. And in many areas, like you're seeing great demand, especially in areas such as Hawaii, those sort of high tourist areas. But interesting enough, like you said, car rental prices have gone up extremely high. Just last year, we saw a car rental, a daily rate of $5. You could actually rent a car in Hawaii. But now it's up to $500 a day. Part of the reason was because a lot of these car rental companies were suffering because during the pandemic with lack of travel. So what they did is they sold off a lot of cars that they didn't need, right? Because there wasn't demand. Well, that's caught themselves in sort of a pickle right now because now people are going back to travel. Car rental prices have increased over 9,000% in some of the top areas, and that's going into other markets as well. So people are actually traveling to places such as Hawaii, not be able to find a car rental. And so this is now becoming a big piece of your travel budget. So for those of you who are planning travel, definitely look into that. If you're looking to travel, book that car rental as soon as you possibly can.
All right. One for the road here. Taxes currently on sale. You sent this over to me. Explain what you're talking about here.
Okay, so I actually did a recent workshop for some employees at NBC and other places, and a CPA joined me from a very large reputable firm here in Los Angeles, and he, as well as other tax professionals, have been continuing to say, look it, taxes are currently on sale, meaning taxes are currently at lower levels than we have seen in a very, very long time historically, and probably into the future as well. So for those of you who are watching, this is obviously Financial Literacy Month. We want to continue to reference the importance of trying to get your assets situated so you're investing more in tax shelter investments, your Roth IRA, your college savings plan for your kids. Find ways to, perhaps look at paying those taxes up front and letting that money grow tax sheltered or growing to a point where at some point you'll get some tax benefits long term.
Good piece of advice. All right. Winnie Sun, Managing Director of Sun Group Wealth Partners. Appreciate the time, Winnie. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you so much, Mike, for your time. Take care.